You want to be a content creator and still don't know how to edit videos either with mobile phone or PC, or you want to learn professional video editing using Premiere Pro, CapCut, InShot, and other video editing software and apps, then you are in the right channel. Hi everyone, Valentine here for Graded Picture Playground. In this free Adobe Premiere Pro video editing course, I will be taking you through the basics of Premiere Pro so that as a beginner, you will be able to understand everything that will make you become a successful video editor. In this free video editing course, I will be using Adobe Premiere Pro 2018 to 2024. The tools in these versions are also in the earlier version, which can still allow you achieve the expected result. This course will cover the following area: how to import clips and create sequence in Premiere Pro, how to set up panels in Premiere Pro, how to use Adobe Premiere Pro tools, how to use Razor and Ripple Edit tool, audio mixer panel, essential sound panel in Premiere Pro, how to unlink audio in Premiere Pro, how to nest sequence, how to locate and use legacy title, color correction in Premiere Pro, how to edit and export videos inside Premiere Pro for beginners. Graded Picture Playground is your go-to channel for simplified video editing tips and tricks that are easy to understand. This free editing course is broken down in series so that you can gain the requisite skills. You can also go through the various playlists in the channel in order for you to watch a particular tutorial that covers the art that you want to master. Since we are in the era of AI, Graded Picture Playground will be coming up with several tutorials on how to use AI in video creation, image generation, as well as music creation. We are going to be taking through different software and apps that are both desktop and mobile phone compatible. As you may be aware, content creation is one area that is highly competitive, and what will make you stand out is the creativity and your style of video editing. If this interests you, do well to subscribe, like and share our videos for it to benefit other people who are interested in content creation, video editing, and every other area that will make you an expert in the video production niche. Three quick ways to import clips and create sequence in Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018. The very first step is to go to your project window and double click. It will instantly pop up where your videos are. If yours doesn't display like this, it's a matter of going into your PC and choose the exact location where your video clips are for you to access it this way. So mine is pop up. Then I can click on any of the video and click on open. It will instantly import that clip into my project. Then the next one is going into your file. You scroll down to import. It will take you to where your video clips are saved. And just as I did now, I click on any of them, open, and it will be imported into my project. That is another step. Then the other one which I often use is the Control I, which is the keyboard shortcut for those who are using PC, Control I, and it will pop it up, and I click on any of them to open, and that clip will be imported into my project. Those are the three basic ways you can use in importing clips into your Premiere Pro CC 2018. Then when creating sequence, I have other ways that I have used. The first one is coming into the file, then I highlight new, scroll down to sequence. At times you can also use the Control N and you will achieve the same result. That is the keyboard shortcut for creating new sequence, Control N. Then you'll see that the presets, the sequence preset that is inbuilt in Adobe Premiere Pro will be popped up. So you just need to scroll through the one that suits the kind of camera that was used in recording. So let's say AVC HD, and I scroll down to 1080p, which is a full HD 25 frames per second. I click on that and I OK. You will see that it will create the sequence and timeline instantly. Then that is the first step to create a timeline. Then the other one is coming to your project bin. You highlight the particular
clip that you want to start editing with, you just highlight, you right click, then you scroll down, you scroll up to wherever you see this new sequence from clip, and with it will create a sequence with the clip that is on your project bin, and import that project instantly into your timeline to enable you start editing. So sometimes the reason for this action is most people don't really know the particular frame size or codec that the clip contains. So with the aid of this function, you are easily able to create sequence without actually bugging yourself. So that is a very nice feature that is present in the Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018. So that is one. Then another option which I often use is the drag and drop, which I'll show you. This is a folder containing my video clip. It's just for me to pick any of the clip that I want to take into my timeline. I just hold it down, and you see here it's showing plus copy, which means that I'm holding a clip. So, and you also see the write-up that is here, drop media here to create sequence. So if I release this clip that I'm holding here, instantly you will see it importing, and it will create a sequence the way you see it appear now, and the project will be on the timeline, and I can start editing. So these are the various procedure or the quick ways that you can import clips into your Premiere Pro CC 2018 and also create sequence as well. So you can apply or adopt any of these styles and you will still achieve the same result. So please subscribe to this channel where I will be taking you through tips on how to use the Premiere Pro CC as a beginner or a pro. I want to show you how to understand the Premiere Pro setup, how you get the various panel and use them. And in instances where you don't use that panel, how you close such panel to have enough workspace during editing. If you come to the top left side, you see File, Edit, Clip, Sequence, Markers, Graphics, Windows, and Help. When you click on the file, you see a drop-down menu where you see various information. New, on this file icon, it has an arrow pointing to the right, which gives you new projects, team project if you are working on cloud and your other editors are in a different location. You have sequence, and you see some that are not highlighted. This is because they have information that has to do with your timeline. You have the sequence from clip, you have bin, you have search bin, and so on and so forth. These are different options under the file on new. Then you have the open project. Open project is when you have a previous saved project, so long as every information in that project is contained in that hard drive, maybe perhaps an external hard drive. Once you click on this open project, you locate it from that hard drive, and the project will instantly open. Then you have the open team project. That is when you are working on cloud. I will have a tutorial separately on that, what the open team project is. Then you have the open recent. In most cases, this open recent requires to the last 5 to 6 projects that you did within a pace of 1 week or 2 weeks, as the case may be. If you look at mine now, there are various projects that I have worked on. If I want to open a project that I just worked on recently, it's a matter of me scrolling through, Convert Premiere Pro clip project. Maybe if you have a lower version of your Premiere Pro which you want to open with a higher version, this is how it is. Also for a higher version to be edited in a lower version, so you can convert those projects to the version of a program that you want. If you want to close your project, close project, these are informations that are here. I would advise you go through step by step and practice them. Then when you come to the down part, you have the import, which you already know the keyboard shortcut, which is Control I. Click on the information icon of your screen to know about how to import videos in a Premiere Pro. Then you look at the import recent. That is when it has to do with recent file that you are working on. Then you export. I've not made a video on exporting. That video will be made soon on how you export your project when you're done with editing. So all these are information. So you have get properties. When you have a file on your Premiere Pro, you want to get information about that file. What kind of video, what codec is it recorded in? Is it a HD? What format? Is it a AVC HD? Is it a DNG files? So these are where you get the properties for such a file that you are bringing into your Premiere Pro. Then this project setting, I will make a video on that, on how to set up your project. Then you have your project manager. These are various information that come by. So when you come to edit, these informations that are displayed here has their own keyboard shortcut, as you can see on the right hand side. Undo is Ctrl Z. If you want to redo a particular thing, maybe you've undo something and you want to redo it, Ctrl plus Shift and Z. So you go through everything that has to do on this edit folder that is highlighted here is about your timeline. When you drop a clip on your timeline, you will see that the informations that are not highlighted here will be highlighted so that you can work on that clip because it has to do with your edited timeline. Then these are for clips. There is no clip on my timeline. That is why you see it seems the informations here are blank. These are to check out what the clip entails, talking about how to rename, make sub clip, and so on and so forth. Yeah, then you have your sequence. The sequence is when you are creating it, like I made it to be understood, is that a sequence is like a page. If you want to work on page 1, you work on it, you go by. And this is how you set up the setting. You may have a clip that is HD, and you have a clip that is standard definition. If each sequence have different setting, you can decide to do the setup here, even when you have the project setting as HD setup. So these are where you get it done. Then you have your render effect. If you just want to render the outside effect or the in to out, maybe from beginning to the end. These are information that has to do with sequence. Then the markers, the mark in, mark out. Then you have the graphics. The graphics, you have type kit. Maybe you want to install some information like templates or motion graphics that you have from Adobe After Effects. If you have motion graphics that is created, then this is the most important aspect, the window icon. You see, this is workspace. Under the workspace, you have all panel, you have assembly, you have audio, you have color, you have the editing panel. I'm on the editing panel. If I should unhighlight this, it then means I will have to choose a different panel here. If I should choose on audio, it then means every information that I'm working on goes to the audio. So you see that Premiere Pro is well organized, that when you know how the setup works, it makes your work faster and it becomes very easy for you to run. So you have the effects, the graphics, the learning, the library, then you have your frame. These extensions, I have some extensions installed. If you have a third-party plugins installed, just as I have my Magic Bullet installed, for instance, then you have, let's say, an audio syncing software like Plural Eyes. These are programs that work as a proxy or as a third party to Premiere Pro. So when you install them in your system, you see all of them appearing on this extension. Then you have the maximize frame. Maybe, for instance, I'm working on this frame on this my project monitor or program monitor. I want it to be very big on my screen. That is where I come to this maximize frame and it will be maximized. And that is the only place that you'll be seeing on my laptop or my desktop, as the case may be. The reason why you see these marks here is because I opened them. All the panels are what are represented here. So if you look at, if I should click on this audio track mixer, that is when I'm going to mix audios. I will have a detailed tutorial on working on audio, how you add sound effects, how you add your soundtrack. These are videos that will be coming on in no distant time. Then you have your captions, you have your capture. Capture was mainly for years back when the DSLR has not really taken over, like when you still have tapes to record. So you connect your camera to your system and you start capturing. These are for the captured information. Then you have the edit to tape. In instances where you come across situations where you have to see export to tapes, this is where the information is important. Then you have the effect controls, you have the effects. All these that I marked out, as you can see, are represented. Then if I click on my editing icon, you see that I'm on the editing page. Everything that has to do, you see the pattern will change. If I should click on the color, you see the information that has to do with color. You come to the right hand side, the lumetri color information is what will be displayed here. So everything that you want to do regarding color, I have a tutorial coming on lumetri color. These are processes, stage by stages, that I want to make these tutorials on so that it will be easier for anybody to handle. Then you look at the effects. If I'm now working on effects, you see that the panel on its own will instantly take the effect pattern. You see all the effect information here when I want to start working on that effect. And you know that under effect, that is where you have the essential graphics, you have the essential sound, lumetri color. These are things that has to do with working on your video. Then you come to the audio panel, you see that everything about the audio is changed. These are how these things operate. Then you come to graphics, you see the pattern changes because we are now on the graphics panel, which every information that has to do with what we are working on is on graphics. So these are the things that you need to know. So peradventure, you are working, you didn't get your audio effect. So all you do is to come to your windows and look for that particular panel that you want to open. Maybe let's say Essential Graphics Tools. I didn't open it. I click on it and you will see that the panel, Essential Graphics Tool, is open on the right hand corner. I want to open the Essential Sound. If I want to start working on the sound effect, there are videos that are coming on Essential Graphics. There are videos that is going to come on Essential Sound. If I want to work on Essential Sound, this is how it is. This is how it appears. Everything that has to do with sound, how to apply your sound effect, ambience, music, and dialogue, how to mix them to have a nice audio from your edited job. These are the things that Essential Sound is about. So videos on that Essential Graphics is coming out sooner. So these are the things you see. Each of them are well represented. So I set up my editing suite like this. So you click on projects, you see the name of the project is tutorials, and you see every videos that I've imported into the project is what is here. So you can decide to set up your editing timeline, your Premiere Pro project to the way it will suit you and work efficiently. And some of those things that you don't use often, you may decide to close it. Maybe, for instance, I don't want this metadata, then I may just close it for me to have more room. Then I don't need audio mixer at the moment because I'm still editing. I can close that. Then the source monitor and the effect control is what is left here. You can decide to bring it down here. You can decide to pick this panel. Maybe if you can decide to come and put it here. So wherever you want to put it is up to you. You can decide to restructure your settings the way it needs to be. I would not want to go deeper into it because what matters is there is already a default that is set out for you. So when you eventually close any panel, let's say I close this history, for instance, I've closed it, I don't need it. Let's say panel, media browser, I don't need it. You close the panel. Then I just have my project and effects here. So in most cases, if I now want, let's say that media browser, I have to come down to my Windows and click on media browser. You will see it come up here to the location where it will be. That is it. I don't need it. So let's say you want to open your lumetri color, you just click on it and you see it opening on the right hand corner. So any panel that you are not seeing and you want to work on such panel, all you do is come to Window and scroll down to that panel and click it, and it will open up on the location where it will be. I will show you some tools for video editing used in Premiere Pro CC. I will be discussing the selection tool, the Ripple Edit tool, the Razor tool, the Pen tool, and the Hand tool. These tools in Premiere Pro and also in other professional video compositing software has shortcuts on the keyboard as well, which will enable you to edit faster instead of going through the edit section of your tab to get the exact tool that you need. So when you are conversant with the keyboard shortcut of each of these tools, it will enable you to edit twice faster. Instead of trying, the time will be minimized. Where you're supposed to spend, let's say, 5 seconds, you may end up spending 2 seconds just because you are familiar with the shortcut on keyboard. I have 3 clips on my timeline. You see this very one, which is the young man and the lady. You see this other one where both are standing, and this is another scene or a different clip entirely. So I will be discussing the selection tool. The selection tool, as it implies, the shortcut is V. It's just to use in selecting. That to select, you pick, use it in picking. When you highlight everything on your timeline, you use it to move your clips around. That is what the selection tool is used for. Then after the selection tool, we talk about the razor tool. The razor tool, as it implies, you see the icon here reflects a razor blade. So it's for slicing. Maybe you want to slice these clips to enable you remove or delete the section that you don't need. The razor tool is what is used for slicing such section out of your clip. The another tool which is commonly used on video editing is the ripple edit tool, which enables you, when you take the ripple edit tool and bring it to the end of the clip, the in between clips. For instance, let's say for example, I want to remove this part of the clip. Let it start from, let's say, where this young lady places her pad as she is massaging the young man. So instead of me, if I'm using just the selection tool, what happens is that there will be space in between the clip. But the ripple edit tool enables you to just move to that spot and automatically it closes off. Instantly, you see that there will not be space in between. So also it applies to, if I want it to appear here, I just take it to the edge and it comes to the exact spot that the cut I want to be. So this is it. So let's say on this other part, this is it now. Let's assume I want it to come to this spot. It's just a matter of coming to the edge of the clip. I just push it down and it closes up, and this is where it starts. That is the function of the ripple edit tool, which is Control B. Then we have the hand tool. The hand tool enables you to scroll. If you have lots of clips, instead of trying to drag your timeline slider, you just have to move with the hand tool. Once it's on your timeline, you see it's moving. It goes up, you move it. It's like flipping through pages. That is what the hand tool is used for. Then you have the pen tool. The pen tool is used graphically, most especially when you're trying to get some animation done. You want to include keyframe and some other tools. That is what is used for. So you have the other type, which is the rate stretch tool, which the keyboard shortcut is arrow. This is to enable you either fasten your video or slower your video. Let's take, for instance, I want to make this video come in slow motion. Instead of me to go on right clicking and going to speed and duration, I just have to click on my keyboard arrow to have the rate stretch tool selected. This is it. Then what happens is you see it. Now you see that everything is now in slow motion. You see it playing slowly. That is it. If I also want to speed up this clip, it's a matter of making it closer. You see how everything is moving. That is it. So if you want to either slow your clip or you want to fasten your clip, the tools, rate stretch tool is what you use in your Premiere Pro CC instead of right clicking and going to look for your speed and duration. So when you are familiar with these keyboard shortcuts on the tools for video editing, it will enable you to edit faster. So for the keyboard shortcut for selection tool is V. For that of the rate stretch tool is an arrow. For repo edit is B, while that of your hand tool is H. Then your cut tool is C. So I would advise you are familiar with these tools so that your editing skill will be faster. So, all right, guys, I hope you learned something. If there is any area you want explanation on or you want to learn, just drop it on the comment section. And please subscribe to this channel and get notified on new video upload. How to use the razor tool and repo edit tool in Adobe Premiere Pro CC. Well, I already have my clips on my timeline, 3 clips per se, and each has a close-up and a medium shot. If I want to use my razor tool, let's take for instance on this very clip, I want to take the close-up of this lady. I scroll through to her. Then you can also go through your frame using the arrow keys to get the exact spots where you want to cut your shot from. So now, if I want to take her close up, you see as I'm sliding, everything here, frame by frame, is still on her close up. So I slide forward, then let's take for instance, I'm taking here. Then I just pick the razor tool and align it with the timeline slider and cut. So the other side that is highlighted is not needed. I will click on my V for the selection tool and delete this part that I don't need. Then I will slide through gently before the other lady's close up pops up. I'll just slide and cut from here using the keyboard shortcut C to select the razor tool. I'll cut it from here. Then I can now delete this part which I don't need. I can delete this part. That's it. Then I click down, go to the next clip. Then let's say I need the close-up of this young man. Then I click on my C on the keyboard to select the razor tool and I will cut it. From there, go forth before it pops up on the other ladies and close up. I still select it and I cut. Then I'll use my selection tool by clicking on V to select the clip and I'll delete. So also this other part. Then you see I have 2 close-up shots of different individuals. This for the first lady and this for the guy. So that is how you use the razor tool. Say I want the medium shot of this very clip. I look for where the medium shot is, perhaps here. For you to be precise on it is to use your arrow keys, not arrow, the keys that has the plus or the up and down arrow key, that and left and right arrow key. That is what I mean, not the letter arrow. Talking about arrow keys on your keyboard, which is the left and right arrow key. You can use it to select to the spot on each frame so that you don't jump cut any frame. Now let's take, for instance, we are using this as the medium shot. I pick my selection tool as my eraser tool as C, click it on my keyboard, then just go forward a bit till it pops up to this. I can now use my left arrow key to come back to that spot. Then I select. I use my V for the selection tool to enable me delete this part. So I close up by ripple deleting. And if you want to ripple delete, if you have space in between your clip, it's just to right click on the empty space and it will show you this ripple delete, and you select, it closes up that space. So that this is the first part on using the razor tool to cut out each section that you don't need in a clip to bring out the sections that you need, just as you see it here. You see, if we play through, you'll see how it appears. It goes to the next one. It goes. So that is the whole essence of video editing. You will not be able to detect if you look at this clip, for instance, this first clip, you see that the background is blurred, and you come to this other one is here. It will be difficult for you to tell somebody that this guy and this lady are not in the same scene at all, that they are different scene. So that is the essence of editing. You tend to remove things that you feel are not important to bring out that spot, that part that you feel will give the visual interpretation of it. So now, these are the ways to use the razor tool. Then the other tool, which is very conversant to use, is the ripple edit tool. The difference between the ripple edit tool is, you saw while I was cutting and deleting those clips, there were spaces in between, but the ripple delete will not give you that space. So all I just need to, as I'm doing now, you just wait for seconds. Let me bring in the clips into the timeline. All the clips that we used on that first part, let me bring them into the timeline so that you'll be able to understand what the ripple delete tool does. This is it. I'm unlinking the audio. There will be a video on how you unlink your audio from your clip if you don't want it, and unlinking of audio from clip is necessary when maybe there are some haze, noise that is there, or it's just like a montage related shot, is set an audioless kind of shot. You don't want ambience, but you just want the video to be there to extract the audio. I will have a video on how you unlink and why you sometimes unlink videos. All these techniques that I'm using is practical to all video compositing software professionally. So now let me use the ripple edit tool. Let's now assume this is where the lady close-up starts from, and this is the clip where the lady's close-up is. All I need to do is to start pushing down. You see it instantly split it into monitor for you to know where your slider or the video that you are moving, where it has gotten to. So you see I'm moving it up to this spot where she is now where she is the only person there. You see it now. You see it. So this is what the ripple delete tool does. So if you want to expand your timeline to know the exact spot her close-up gets, is to use the plus key for expanding of your timeline. That is the zoom key. You see it instantly closes it. This is it. This is the same way. I'm using the ripple edit tool, which is the keyboard shortcut B. You see? So instead of it having space in between, is just going through. So now let's assume like the next clip, which is taking this guy's shot, is what we need, is to come to the edge of it. When you highlight it, you see this yellow icon in arrow form. You see I'm pushing it down to where his close-up is. And what did you see? It instantly closes and it goes to this spot. So now let's say we want to take it, we want to close it up to this point where he is to do the same thing, drag the edge to that spot where his close-up elapses. So this is it, you see. You zoom out. Always use your zoom key so that you have a precise outlook. So before it goes to these ladies, the second person's close-up, this is it. So we have this. It moves from here, it goes here. This is it. Then now the same shots that we wanted, this is it, is going to the edge with the ripple edit. It takes you straight to that spot that you are. Now let's say this is it. Then you see how it goes. So if you look at the earlier editing part, look at it, you see that they are same. So this is for the cut part. This is the one that we use the razor tool for, and this is the one we use the ripple edit tool for. So you see that it arrives at the same result. So whichever pattern you're using, however you want to go about it, the most important thing is achieving the result the way you want it to be. That is the essence of video editing. That is why we have Graded Picture Playground to guide you systematically on how to be a professional video editor, following step by step, not just having a run through on our tutorials. To locate the audio panel, you come to the top of your workspace. After the effect, you have your audio. This is how it appears. This section is for effects. When you click at the top of this corner, this is the mixer. So let's drop a clip with audio on the timeline, just like this. So let's drop it here. This is it. Let's play.
What is wrong with you now? Eh? You were outside waiting for me. I went in to take my bath.
So this is the audio. This has an audio. If you come to your audio panel, just like this is how it appears. So let's play. So you see that you have audio 1, which is for the audio track 1. You have audio 2 for audio track 2. You have audio 3 for audio track 3. Even if you end up having up to 20 tracks, that is how they will display on this audio panel. So this other channel here is for the master control. The master means that even if it's 10 channels, this is the overall control on how you determine what goes out as the pitch of your audio. If you play these, so whatever audio that you are controlling here is every audio that is on this track 1. If you are scrolling this knob, you are affecting all the audio track. These are for individual tracks, while this is the control for the entire tracks that are in your project. When you come to the top corner, this is where you see this triangle. When you click on it, this is how it pops up. So you see that this dialog box has 3 partitions. You have this down part, which houses the control, your effect control. This center part is where you determine the kind of audio means that you want to create. If you want to master, fine. If you want to create mono, sub-mix. So these are where you apply those settings. So this top part is where you apply your effects. Let's take, for instance, we want to apply echo and delay. Then we
pick the analog delay. When you play, this is what you get.
What is wrong with you? Eh? You were outside waiting for me. I went in to take my...
You see that echo has been applied. If you want it dried, wet, delay, feedback, depends on how you want the audio to sound. So you told you there that this is the knob at which you want to control it. This is how it works. So if you want to apply anything on the entire mastered audio, this is where you now come and apply any of the effects that you want the mastered audio to sound like. This is the simple way to apply effect. Then on the other hand, you can come to your edit channel, then you click on effects. Then under your effects, you come to audio effects. You see that there are lots of plugins that are also available just as it was on the audio channel mixer. These are the various effects which are present in that audio part, just as you have it here. If you apply any effect and you want to get it out, it's just to click on this same spot and highlight none, and that effect will be gone. This is the way to locate the mixer and the channel where you can easily apply your effects and have control on it. I want to show you the essential sound panel, how it works. To locate the essential sound panel, all you do is click on window, then below the essential graphics, you locate the essential sound. Click on the essential sound, then the panel would open. First thing first, before going to the essential sound, we need to place a clip on the track. So practically, we are working on the audio. When you click on it, you see that the information under the essential sound displays. So you have the dialogue, you have the music, you have the sound effects, you have the ambient. The dialogue is the conversation that individuals are having. If you want to work on the dialogue, that is when you click on the dialogue. If you're working on music like soundtrack that you want to place underneath your dialogue, then you click on this music. Then if it's sound effects like thunderclaps and so on, you hit on your sound effects to get that worked on. Each of them has different panels. So let's take, for instance, we open up the dialogue. Under the dialogue, you see that there are 4 options that you need to select from, which is the creative, clarity, repair, and loudness. When you click on the loudness, you have the auto match option. The essence of this auto match option is to have a leveled up audio so that you don't have some areas with high pitch and some other areas with low pitch. So the broadcast standard is to ensure that you have a stable frequency. It is either is high or low, not having some pitches in between conversation getting higher than others. So it should maintain a stable frequency. So that is the broadcast rule. So if you want to apply it on this, you can see that in this very clip, if you look at this audio part, this white section, you see that there are places that has high pitch and low pitch. So when you hit on this auto match, you wait, so you see that it has blended up everything, and you look at the audio indicator, you see it's taking that level. Everything remains on that. So let's undo it. Let's play and see what happens.
After center, was it
You
good?
see how
Is
it
it
goes
good? Which
now.
of the one am I taking?
I don't like it
The
at
part
all.
is high
Look at what you did there.
and another part
Look at what you did
is lower,
there.
so it
Onyema was
doesn't make it
dying.
standard. You see how it was going up with higher pitch. Another part is so when you auto match, it blends it and you have a frequency that is normal. So that is the essence of this auto match under the loudness. You come to your repair. This is where you, if you have noise and at the background that you want to remove, you just click on this icon, then you work on your controls.
you get it removed. Reduce rumble, so any kind of noises are for repairs. Then you come to your clarity. Then this is where you're talking about the dynamics. You have the creative. This is where you're talking about which area is your dialogue taking place. Is it in an auditorium, church, large reflective room, and so on and so forth? Is it taking voice that you want? Is it warm room? Is it warm voice? So whatever of the presets that you want, you can now highlight it and use the control. I'm not going in depth. I just want to show you the features that are present there. We come to the music part. This is the music. You now see the features that are present are 3. We're talking about the loudness, which means that in music, you still need to have that broadcast standard. Then you have the duration. Then you have your docking. In subsequent tutorial, I will be showing you the essence of docking, what docking does when you are editing your project. So that is that. Now, when you come to your sound effects, so you see that 3 options are available. The loudness, which still means that you need to maintain that broadcast by auto-matching it. Then you have your pan, you have your creative to think of whether reverb, light reverbs. These are for effects. So you can see the features that are present here are essentially for effects. So you come to your ambience. So you see the informations that are available are just 3. Stereo width, so which means the wideness of your stereo. How do you want it broadened out? Do you want it narrowed down, or do you want it wide? You see what kind of ambience. Is it large room ambience, outside ambience, room ambience, wind effect? So you see what categories falls under the ambience.
I already have my clips in the project bin. To use the source monitor to link audio from video is just to click on any of the video. I double click on it. It will display on the source monitor. I will make a separate video to explain what the source monitor does and how it can also help you while editing. This is the clip. When I scroll through, you see everything as it is. If I want to take a particular spot, let's say I don't want the audio from this spot. By the time I take my slider, my timeline slider to that spot, I just click on the keyboard shortcut I to set an in point. I is to set an in point. Then O to set an out point. When you set that out point, you see there are 2 icons here. This is for the video only, and this by it is for the audio only. So if I want to pick just the audio into my timeline, this is the only icon I bring down, which is suitable. Maybe you recorded your voice over with your mobile phone in video mode and you don't want that video, you just want the audio. This is how you can just bring in the audio alone on your timeline. If I want to pick this video, which is on linking of video, it's just for me to pick this video icon and it brings it. This is not the entire clip of the video that is on the timeline. It is what I have set in. The in and out point is what I just have to pick it and place on the timeline. That is one. The other way, which is common, is coming by dropping your clip on the timeline, the exact clip that you want to unlink. Then you right click, you scroll up to where you see this unlink and you click on it. It unlinks it and you click on the audio to highlight it and delete. So you've unlinked the audio. So these are the 2 ways to unlink audio from your video clip. And why is it important to unlink audio? In most cases, you probably want just the video to have a visual interpretation of maybe your voice over. So that is why you sometimes unlink, or maybe you have a very bad audio that is recorded on that clip, or maybe you're creating an advert video that doesn't need the audio that you recorded. That is why it's important to unlink your audio from your video file. What is nest? Nesting is when you merge all your cuts in your timeline to be on a single sequence is here, but when you nest all the clips together, all of them becomes one sequence which is created inside a sequence that you are editing in your timeline. So let's take, for instance, I have just one clip on the timeline. Let me add others. This is another one. Let me trim and close. That is it. Let me place another clip on the timeline just to get the idea of what I am talking about. So you see these are 3 clips. Then let's say we place another clip at the top of this very one. Let me link this. Right click to link, then close it. Let me place it on top of this very clip. Let's say I bring another clip to the timeline. Let's say this very one. So I'm placing it here. So you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips on the timeline, all in separate timeline. So all we do if we want to nest it together is to highlight everything. We right click and you scroll to nests. It pops up for you to name this nested sequence and you okay. You see everything becomes one straight video. A detailed tutorial will be coming on certain effects that requires being nested before you can apply such effects, most especially when you are trying to create 3D related effects in Premiere Pro, which you are aware that Premiere Pro is not a 3D compositing software, but for editing videos. So if you want to create videos that depict 3D effects, so it's ideal you nest them together to have a straight clip to enable you have control over it. Legacy title is the old way of creating title in the earlier versions of Premiere Pro, like CS3, CS4, CS5, and CS6. While in the Premiere Pro CC version, starting from the 2017, you use the Essential Graphics Title 2, which is dominant in the CC versions starting from the 2017 Premiere Pro CC. Let's dive into locating the legacy title. All you do is click on your file, highlight New, then scroll down to Legacy Title. It will pop up a dialog box. This dialog box enables you to know the frame rate of your timeline which you want to set to fit your timeline. Then this box is where you name your title in a situation where you have series of titles that you want to create. You are able to use this to identify them. So I will leave mine on this default stage and click OK. So it pops up a dialog box on this window. Why it's showing blank on this spot is because there is no video on my timeline. So don't feel surprised. It's nothing at all. Why it's showing like this is because there is no clip on my timeline. And if you come to this little icon here, this is the switch to show the background video. If you put it off, it will be gray. If you put it on, it will be blue. So the essence of this is if you have video on your timeline and you want it to appear so that you know as the exact position you want your title to be, you can highlight it to be on. It's always on the default on, but you can decide to put it off. It's entirely yours. Maybe if you don't have anything particular, maybe you just want to design your graphics here. So all I do is click on this icon, which is the letter T here, and I'll click on this window. Now let's say I want to type 2 women as being the clip I want to place on my timeline. Let's say 2 women. After typing, I come to the top right corner and click on this arrow key for the selection. and I'll place it anywhere that I want it to be. The selection tool enables you to move your write-up from one spot to the other. So you would wonder what this two-grid line is. I will make a separate tutorial to give a detailed analysis of what the legacy title panel is, what is obtainable, and what this line is. These lines are called the safe margin. You can also switch it on in your project monitor to know exactly how large or small your video is. So these lines guide you to know that you are still within the scope that your video can be viewed. Start creating this title and aligning it like I did. It's now for you to close. Then you see by the time you finish creating your title, it will be on your project bin. Just for me to pick and drop. In subsequent tutorials, I will create how to animate title, how to also use the default transitions on your titles. I hope you now know how to locate the legacy title in Premiere Pro CC and how to type using the legacy title. If this is your first time on this channel, hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell to get notified when videos are uploaded. Thank you and see you next time. How to make minor color adjustment or correction in your video. So understand that there is a difference between color grading and color correction. This is a term that a lot of people tend to misunderstand. What is color correction? Color correction is your ability to make adjustments to colors that are in your clips and try to make it pop out. Color grading is a visual interpretation to give a feel or mood to your clips or your story. If you're seeing an epic film and a horror film, you see the color grading differs. So you have to understand color correction before you delve into color grading, because your color correction is what gives you the picture on knowing which colors are missing or are washed out, and for you to bring them, to revive them. The color correction is your ability to revive colors that are absent in a clip before talking about the visual interpretation of how it feels to the audience. You cannot use a preset or a color preset for an epic film for that of a horror film. It will look shoddy. For you to be a good colorist, you have to understand color correction. And the key areas that is always considered is the hue, saturation, and lumen, which is often referred as the light. So you need to understand the combination of your clip before you start delving into color grading. Let's dive into bringing a clip into my timeline. Let me drop this one here. If you look at this very clip, let me take this close up. Let's use this as an example. What comes to your mind is looking at her hair. Her hair is dark. The clothes she's putting on is also dark, which oftentimes is represented as shadow, the dark part of your clip. And you look at behind her ears, all those are shadow related parts. Hidden areas are regarded as shadow and dark part. So there are instances where pictures are hidden or where details are hidden, either washed out, and it's not giving out the exact appearance of how the color would be. So these are where you have to make your color adjustment. Maybe there are instances you see her face is not bringing out the exact color that it needs to be. You make adjustments to it before you start talking about color grading. Color grading is a different techniques on its own that requires time and patience. Come to your effects, then click on your video effects, and these are the files that you see there. Everything that has to do with video effects are both for colors, affecting your image, and doing whatever you need to do to that image. Under the video effects, you see other folders. You have adjust. Under the adjust, you have convolutional canal, extract, you have levels, lighting effect. So let's take, for instance, I want to apply this lighting effect. This is what you get. You have those hotspots. You can customize it and choose whatever you want it to be. The Pro Camp is a combination of different color. If you start making adjustments to it, each time you want to start working on your video correction, if you want to make correction, so where you make your adjustment is under your effects and control. When you click on the effects and control panel, you come down to the exact effect. Any effect that you're applying to your clip is under the effects control. So you come down, this is a Pro Amps here. It has basic color adjustment or channel adjustment. Let's do a kind of run through to understand what we're trying to say. So if I click on this brightness, if I increase it, you see that is already giving this clip a kind of washed out look. And there are instances you may come up with such a video that is looking washed off. You can decide to use the Pro Amps to make an adjustment. I'm adding 2. Then there is a contrast. You see that the contrast is also washing it out. But if you bring it down, it gives you this feel. Maybe we leave it on 104. Then let's take, for instance, the hue is to work or change the various color. Now let me increase this hue and see what happens. You see the color that is given. Let's scroll down on the script. You see the hair of this lady is good. Let me put it off for you to see. You see how it is? This after. So let me leave it on 5, or let's say I leave it on 7, so that we now understand that her wig is gold and this lady, she's fair. Let's say I put it off. You see her face is reddish, which is not that good. Take it on. You see it has given it that subtle look. I'm increasing the saturation. You see it pops out. Saturation is to bring out the intensity of the colors that are present in your shot. I've boosted to, let's say, 132. Then let's put it off for you to see. This is before, this is after. Before, after. That is that under the adjust if you want to make adjustments to your saturation. So this is how the clip looks. Then the main part that concerns color correction, as you see, it has its own folder, is the color correction folder. If you have a drop down, you see different effects that are present in there. You see the brightness and contrast, you see the change color, you see the change to color, you see the channel mixer. These are various effects. What often comes to mind when you want to work on color is the color balance, which is represented as HLS. This is it. You see the reason why I had to use the Pro Camps, because all the information that is on this HLS, which is the color balance, is represented on that Pro Camps. You see the hue, you see the lightness, and you see the saturation. Let's say we make this 7 degree. You see, this is the after, this is the before, after, before. You see how it affected the area. It changed the color precisely to where it is. If I should increase this lightness, it will make it look washed out. So I can leave it on this spot, then maybe shoot up the saturation. So you see the before, this is the after. So you see it's well detailed. These are ways to make minor adjustments. So you can go and work on each of them, start applying them, make all the adjustments till it gets to that color feel. So this is the basic way to making certain color adjustments to your clip. So I use that sometimes. There's a color balance on its own where you have the red balance. Let's take, for instance, red is way kind of much. Let me put it off. Let's use this lady. Then we have the mid, we have the shadow green. Maybe I want to pull it down. You'll see the effects already. Let's close it. This is the before, this is the after. Before, after. You see how it crushes it out because it's having this greenish appearance. Then the red mid-tone. If you're talking about the mid-tone, you're talking about the surfaces. Her chin, her forehead, her nose. These are the mid-tones, these open sides. So if we want to add to her midtone, let's say the red midtone, you see what happens. It affects her eyes instantly, her face. Those are the things. Then the blue midtone, you see it affects those face. Her hand, this hand, that the hand here that is not too obvious, the face. So those are the midtone. When you hear shadow, highlight, and midtone, highlight at the bright side. Then you talk about the midtone is the surface, the body. It may be a table, that surface of that table. Those are the midtone, those pronounced area. Then if you now talk about the shadows, they are the dark parts, like behind her head, like this earring is a mid-tone, which whatever you are applying affects it. I hope you understand how to apply and make minor color adjustments. I want to use the brightness and contrast, which sometimes people use as a shortcut. So if you pop up your contrast, it makes it darker on the shadow, like you see here. This is the before, then this is the after. Brightness and contrast is not always the best option for making color adjustment. You see that you lost details. Look at underneath her neck. You see that it's not darker compared to how it was. So those are, you don't need to lose details in your color adjustments. How to launch, edit, and export video in Premiere Pro. You locate your Adobe. Mine is Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018. You click on it. You allow it to load. It's loading on its own. This is the Premiere Pro CC. You give it time for it to load. After loading, it shows you this dialog box. You click on New. It pops up another dialog box. Here, you name your project. Let's say Setup. I choose a location, which is on my external hard drive. I'll create a folder on this very location, which is my external hard drive, local disk I. I'll name this folder Editing. I'll select the folder. It has given it the name where I'll save on, which is on Editing. Then we'll talk about video rendering and playback. I have an NVIDIA graphics on my laptop. So in a situation whereby you don't have an NVIDIA graphics for the GPU acceleration CUDA, then you can use the Mercury playback, which is for the software alone. Sometimes using the software alone is very difficult for videos to process, especially when your system is not having an external graphics. On my own, I have the NVIDIA. That is why you see it here. So I will select on this Mercury. Then this, you leave it on the default. Audio sample on the default. Then you look at the scratches. These are where the parts where your informations are. Then there is something that you need to note. You have to be so organized when editing your project. Ensure that all the clips or videos that you are creating are well organized in folders so that you don't go and have your audio in a different folder and you have your video in a separate folder without it being in a compacted folder. Because if you have your video, let's say on your desktop, and you have your audio in your external hard drive, and mistakenly you unplug your external hard drive for any reason whatsoever, and you launch your Adobe Premiere and you open that project, it will instantly show you that clips are missing because there are some clips that are on that external hard drive. So don't make that mistake of littering your clips or footages in your computer. Be as organizational as possible. That is why you see that on my setup, I have to create a location where my files are or where my project will be saved. And the files as well, you will see where I get them located. So I click on OK, then wait for the Premiere Pro to do its calculation, then create the project interface. Now the project interface is open. You see everything is blank. It shouldn't look intimidating. If you've not seen my video on how to import clips into Premiere Pro, click on the information icon on the top right corner to see the video on how to import clips. So I use my keyboard shortcut Ctrl I, then I go to my external hard drive, which is local disk I. Then I come to my videos, which is edited film. I have to pick, say, one. I hold down my shift key and select the various clips that I want to import, and I'll open. Click on OK, is importing file. After importing that file, you see it appear on the project bin, which with the name setup. Then what happens next? I just click on the clip and scroll to new sequence from clip. It opens up. These are the file. Then I've created that. All I do now is to pick every other clip and add to it. I'll take it, add to this at the end of each of the clip. I pick every corresponding clip and add to the end of the clip the way I want it to be. This is already edited clips. I just want to show you the process on how to get things done. You export such as well. I have placed the clips on my timeline, so it's time to edit. I go to my cut by using the C to select the razor tool. I slide, assuming I want my clips to start from here. I can cut off. Click on my V for selection tool. Click on this clip and press delete. Right click on the open space. Click on repo delete. It will delete that space to close it up. Then let's take, for instance, I come to this spot. Then I want to cut it here. I click on C. Use it to select C. Shortcut is for selecting razor. I click on it. Press the V to pick my selection tool. Click on that clip that I don't want and I press on delete. Repo delete to close the space. This is another clip. Then I scroll through to know the exact spot that I want to delete or cut out from the clip. Then I use the C to select my razor tool. I cut here off. Pick on it and delete. Then pick up to this point. Use my razor tool. Click and delete the back side, which I don't need. Why is as if it's still slow? Is because when you import any project or any clip into your project, Adobe does a calculation by conforming that project with your timeline. So that is why it's relatively slow. Now that it has finished conforming, and I'm sure it will be faster now, you see it displaying clips the way it should go. So if you can't remember the shortcut C and V, C is for picking the razor, V is for selection. Then you can come to this icon, this arrow icon, to pick it. Then press on the video that you want to delete, you delete. Then you scroll through. Maybe you want to pick these parts. You use your C, you cut, press your V to select and remove that part. And by clicking delete, you click on the empty space and right click. It will display repo delete. Click on it and it will close up that space. Then if you have not seen video on how to use the repo delete, the razor tool, click on the notification icon on the right top corner of your screen to watch that video on how to use the various tools in Premiere Pro. I click on this. I pick on V to select, delete. So let me have a run through, and this is all it. Then repo delete to close the space. Repo delete to close the space. Picking of this, I take here, come to this spot. I have to close them by selecting using V to select the two, press the delete to delete them, and close. We have edited. This is not a movie with separate shots, so it will be better. I just want to have a run through so that you know how to cut, delete. So if you are picking close-up shots, I will create another tutorial on how to edit a movie, picking the close-up, medium, and establishing shot so that you know how to edit movies on your own seamlessly. This is it. I have cut out the clips that we don't need. I will have another tutorial on how to edit movies. This is an already edited movie, like I said in my previous tutorial. So I will have to have a raw sheet editing where you have the close-up shot, how you pick them to blend the dialogue. I'll create a full tutorial on that so that you'll be able to edit movies using different shots and different angles. Now we've done the cutting by starting from the setting up, importing. This is how you do your cutting. You remove the sides that you don't need. You want to make minor color corrections. So I go to my effects. I come to my video effects, color correction. Let's take, for instance, I just want to work on the color balancing. I pick on this, the color balance. I scroll down. Let's say I want to pop up the saturation. I pop up that saturation on that point. Then if you scroll through, you'll see it gives you the clearer look. This is the before, this is the after, and this is the before. You see everything coming out. So in a situation where it's as if this man's face is reddish, I cannot come down and pick up the color balance correction tool and go to the red channel, which is the red mid-tone, because that is where I'm having issues with. Come to the red mid-tone. You look, there is a list of the channel. This is it. Then I can crush it down a bit. So you see it has regulated that spot. So this is the before, this is the after. So I've crushed out that harshness. So I can also touch the red highlights by coming down to push it down a bit to say -6. So you see everything is okay now. The red on his face, this is the before, this is the after, before, after. So this is how you tend to pick out spots that tends to give you problem in your editing. This is how this clip is now after we've applied the color. This is it, before, before. This is the after we apply the effect, before, then this is the after. So you see everything becomes detailed. Then you come to the next clip, which is this very one. Then most cases the same effect may apply. You can hold down your control to select all the effects that you've applied. Hold it down, click on C to copy them, and maybe you apply V. You see what it gives you. So the presets probably works on it. You see how it goes. So it goes from there, and this is it. Now this is the before, how it were, then the after the effect is applied. So you see it comes out in detail. When you are doing your color correction, there is an adjustment layer which is found on the bin of your project. You come to this corner, click on this folder to click on adjustment layer. It gives you the exact setting of your timeline, and you click on OK. It pops up. The adjustment layer is applied on clips on the top. So any effect that you apply on this adjustment layer will instantly affect the clips underneath it. So it's not a video. It's like a handle where you apply your effects instead of me copying it to be pasting on each of it, I can just copy the entire effects, then come to the area that I have not applied it on, like we've already copied, and I'll click on V to paste it, and you see it will instantly affect everything that is underneath it. With the effect on top of it, everything blends to go, and that is how you make minor adjustments with your colors. I would have rendered the workspace, but because this is a tutorial, I wouldn't want to render it. But if you want to render, the render is to turn this red line to green so that it can now play seamlessly. There will be a detailed tutorial on how you can edit. Even when you've applied a lot of effects, your video will still have to play seamlessly. If you come to this spot, for instance, you'll see that it has full, you have the 1/4, and you have half. So it's on this 1/4. Even when I play it now, you will see that it will play accordingly. It will not be lagging. Let's take, for instance, I take it up down to full. You will see that it will be hanging. It will not be flowing smoothly. It will not play smoothly. It's hanging because of the effects that I've applied on it. So I can come to this point and play, then you see it playing. So even if I end up applying a lot of effects to this, it will still play smoothly, and I will get the details of what I want. This is not, what I did is not color grading. This is color adjustment, color correction. So I just had to do some color correction to make sure everything blends together and all that. So the color grading is, if I want to now give it a different art look, a different feel, that is when we now start working on individual color, and even the green colors, like the flowers and the rest of them, you see it going separately. So I can now come down. Maybe we want to apply transitions. It's for me to come to my effects, then go to videos, transition, then I can click on dissolve. That is if I want to select it from the folder. Then when I play back, you see it transits from this spot to this spot. So it goes there. So we've applied transition, we've edited by doing minor cutting. Then it's time for us to add title. There are two ways to add title in your Premiere Pro CC 2018. The icon T here is for the essential graphics. If I want to create title on the essential graphics panel, it's for me to click on this T. I come to the graphics. Then I click on this. You see, it will give you this icon. And let's say I'm typing movie. This is it. You see, instantly it will create a clip, a title holder where this title is lying. So I can click on the select tool, then make all the necessary adjustments by increasing it. Then I'll place it down. Then make adjustments. This is your essential graphics. So this is your edit. This is the movie that I want to do. So I can click on this icon to align them properly, to centralize it. So I can pop up the size, can reduce it also. I can move it to anywhere. So on this panel, I can make any minor animation. So that is how you get it done. When I close it, I come back to my editing timeline. But this is one. Let's say that is movie. We've created that as a title. But we can now go to the legacy title by coming to File, go to New, scroll down to Legacy Title. If you have not seen the tutorial on locating the legacy title, click on the information icon at the top right corner. Then you click on OK. Then you can still create the same thing, which is movie here. Or let's say we can now use a different word. Let's say edit, moving edit. So I click on this selection, and still extend it. Then bring it up, align it.
the way it needs to be, like you've seen here. So I can click on the position, horizontal. All these are to align it to make sure it's centralized, the vertical. So I will close it, then come to my project setup, pick the edit and add it here. So this is what you see here, movie edit. If you don't want it to have that jump cut, you can come to effects and pick dissolve and place it in between. So all you now see is goes there. It translates instantly. That is the movie edit. So we've imported our clips, do the minor cutting, make our adjustments, add title. Then it's for us to export. So when you click on File and you go to Export Media, or the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+M, you click on it, it will instantly give you the dialog pop up, and click on Ctrl+M. Always ensure that this spot is highlighted. Now it has popped up the dialog box. So this is where you create the output on how your video would be. So you see these are the presets H.264. There is on high bit rate. So sometimes you may want to export for maybe your YouTube. You have YouTube 4K, you have YouTube HD, you have YouTube standard definition HD, you have the standard definition on its own, and you have the YouTube standard wide. So these are various presets that are made here. So if, for instance, I'm exporting with any of these one, you can create your own preset. Depends on how you want it. I have some presets that I created here. If you see various presets for different videos that I am making. So I can decide to say, let's make this a 720, and the video will still come out very clean because it's HD, and 720 is just 1280 by 720. But what we have here on our timeline is a 9020 by 1080. So you see everything is still within that frame. So you see the picture will come out clean. It's better you exporting a higher frame video to a lesser one. It will still give you that crispy look, that standard look that is very, very clean, than you're trying to export a low version or a low format video to a higher resolution. It will look like straining, it will look blurry. So these are we are exporting in that form. So another point that needs to come to your attention is your bit rate. You click on this icon, you have the CBRO. I don't use the CBRO. Those are for the lower resolution. Sometimes I use between these VBROs, the 1 pass and the 2 pass. I often, when it comes to a project that I'm doing, I use the VBRO 2 pass. I will have a tutorial on exporting videos and understanding the settings of what each of these stands for. So this is it. You have the target bit rate. Mine, if you want, now you see the megabytes. It's about 636 MB, which is way very large. So oftentimes I tend to crash it down by using 8 by 8 as the target. So half of it, then it instantly reduces the number in 2. So 800, it doesn't affect the video quality. It's the size of the file that is affecting. So if you click on it, this is it. So if you still want to double it, you can make it 4. These are export settings that I have applied over the years. You see it has reduced it. It doesn't affect your video quality, not at all. It doesn't. So when you export, it only reduces the file to make it come up in a lower size. It doesn't. So it is only when you over manipulating other figures, if your target bitrate and maximum bitrate is not corresponding, it becomes a problem.
So that is why I don't use the CBRO. You click on the CBRO now, this is what you get. So at the end, you may start having glitches if you export it in this form. It's faster to export on CBRO. It's long to export in VBRO 1 pass, but longer to export in VBRO 2 pass. So when I create a tutorial on this, you now understand how it works. So you now click on export. So if you have your Adobe Media Encoder, in order for you to start working or creating other projects, it's now for you to add to queue. Let me cancel this. If you have Adobe Media Encoder, all you do is to add to queue, then it will launch your Adobe Media Encoder that can now start processing. If you have double screen, you can take the job there for it to be rendering, then while you start working on a new project while this other one is processing. If this is your first time on this channel, hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell to get notified when videos are uploaded.